Hey everyone, this is wolfwire Studios and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay. And I know it's been quite a while, but I was busy with something. And if you were looking at my channel, I was busy with the Unreal Engine challenge by the name of Better Light Than Never. I created a submission for it and it is on my channel. You can check it out if you want. And it was a challenge about lighting and all. So yeah, mine is a student submission because I'm a student technically, and it's on my channel. If you guys want to check it out, please do check it out, and maybe just like it on the Unreal Engine forum if you can, or maybe like it on the video itself. That might help. So today, guys, I created the reloading logic that I was trying to make, and yeah, it took me one day to figure it out, and I did. And this reload logic is inspired by Insurgency Sandstorm. So here I have a clip of the same. This is Insurgency Sandstorm, and in a moment you will see what I'm talking about. So as you can see, the magazine is empty in the bottom right corner, and the player adds a new magazine. Now, if we shoot some bullets from the magazine, it will reload and put the other magazine in. And then again, if we shoot some more bullets, it will reload and put the previous magazine back in. So that's how Insurgency Sandstorm works. It takes your current magazine and then it checks that do you have any other magazine available on your own body that has more bullets than the current one. It is a very efficient way to create a hardcore reload system where you will have to manage your bullets. And if you have played Insurgency Sandstorm, you're very well aware of it, what I'm saying here, okay? So, and if you haven't, I will recommend to check out Insurgency Sandstorm for once. It's a really nice game. It's a tough one. It's even tougher than Rainbow Six Siege, but what gives? Anyways, so I wanted to create a hardcore reloading logic because the setting of my game, the story that I have, tends to be more on a realistic side, right? So because of that realistic side, I want a realistic reloading logic. I may have an easy one down the line that I may switch between if the player is changing the settings. That is what I'm planning right now, but we'll see. Maybe I won't have any easy reload because, well, it's a realistic game. So I'll have to make it more realistic and more tactical. Never mind. So to create that logic, what I did was this. This is the outer shell of the logic. And let me just show you guys the preparations. So from the previous videos, you may remember I had this s underscore weapon info, this struct that I was using to have some information for my weapons, right? So I created another struct by the name of magazine sets that has 3 magazines right now. And I created an enum e underscore magazine set that just has 3 attributes: magazine 1, magazine 2, and magazine 3. And I created a variable from that enum here. So I have total of 4 variables in this struct. So we have this struct and we have this enum, right? I created this this struct in my weapon base, and then it was automatically inherited here in the rifle. And I set the default values of all the magazines as 30 and the magazine set number as 1, of course, as the default one. And in the player, if you guys remember this code, on the begin play node, we have the attach primary weapon, which is attaching the weapon to the hand of the player. And this is the same previous code. You remember? Spawn actor and then create a variable, disable collisions. But at the end, I'm using that primary weapon. I'm using that weapon info struct and I'm breaking it to get the current ammo, which in our case is 30. And I created another integer, current active magazine, that will tell us the number of bullets. And it is setting the current active magazine as this variable. Basically, it is setting it as 30. So in our event graph, this is initialized when the weapon is attached. And it will be dynamic because primary weapon is just a slot, okay? You can fit any weapon inside. It can be an AK, it can be an M4, it can be a DMR, it can be anything, okay? This is the reloading logic, conveniently named insurgency style. So what we have here is a reload event, which is checking that is this variable true? If it is not, then we'll check for ADS. If we are in ADS, then we won't. I mean, we'll disable. If we are sprinting, then we'll disable sprint, and then we will play the actual event, the usual stuff, the preliminary checks. Okay. Now this is the outer shell, the real outer shell of the reload logic. So what we are doing is we are again getting the same variable, the current ammo of the weapon, and we are checking it with respect to our variable that we made inside our character, current active magazine, and we are checking that is it smaller than the current ammo. Basically, we are checking that what we have currently, this variable, is it less than 30 in our case right now. Don't take 30 as the universal example. 30 is what we usually get in our magazines in first person games. If it is less than 30, that is current ammo, then we will use this function, which is a very, very essential function. Like, really, this is the meat and potatoes of this reloading logic, and it's very helpful, it's very crucial. You might be seeing these lines. So what I'm doing is I'm using this weapon primary, I'm getting the magazine set struct, and I'm breaking it and getting that enum that I made here, this enum, and I'm sending it off to this function here, active mag number, and this function is giving an output play animation, simple boolean telling you that do you want to play the animation or not. Well, if you want to play the animation, then we will set that variable is reloading. We'll set it to true. We'll play the montage. We'll have a delay. And this delay is exactly the length of the animation. Okay. In future, of course, this animation can be a variable and you can get the play rate directly. But right now I had to set it hard coded like manually. And then after that delay, set this variable to like not is reloading. You can easily use this variable in your anim blueprint, and like for example, if you have an IK setup like me, you can use this variable inside your anim BP and project it there so that you can disable or enable the hand IK whenever you want. Now let's just quickly move inside the reloading function, the reload logic. Oh, it's very huge. It's a big blueprint. I mean, it's not that big, but yeah. So it really took me a while to figure it out. I mean, it wasn't easy. As you can see, there are multiple parts of it. It was really tedious to find out, but you'll have to bear with me. Okay, yeah, guys. So I'll just quickly show you guys the logic behind Insurgency Reload and display you the final result, and then I'll have a separate tutorial as a video. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking that are all these magazine values equal. If somehow they are equal, then we will just return and end the function without playing the animation. But if they are not equal, then we are checking one by one. This check will perform this operation. What do we say? The less than operation on magazine 1 and 2. And if it is true, then we will check the same operation on magazine 2 and 3. And if 2 is less than 3, then magazine number 3 is the one that we need to set active. And if suppose 1 is not less than 2, then we will check 1 less than 3. If magazine 1 is less than 3, that means magazine 3 again needs to be set active. And somehow, if magazine 1 was less than magazine 2, but magazine 2, okay, you know what? This will really get confusing, guys. I'll have a separate tutorial, don't worry, okay? And that's how I was setting up. I was using the active mag number. As you can see, that enum is used here. It is checking that, okay, is this the active magazine? If it is, then we'll just like to return the function, basically exit the function without playing any animation. Why? Because already this magazine is set, already the values are inherited, so we don't have to perform this check over and over again. The same thing is done here, it's just the values are switching back and forth. The current active magazine, because we are setting the current active magazine, this is the value that we need to update. The current active magazine is like a switch, and magazine 1, 2, and 3 are like the voltages behind it. You're just switching some voltage, okay? And this is your switch or your fuse receiving that voltage. That is what you're doing here. And at the end, we are just, this is a debug thing, and we are just returning, and yes, we want to play the animation. And here, this is my debug code, simple debug code. I'll just press E and it will show me the current ammo, it will show me the active magazine, and it will show me how much how much ammo is there in these magazines. And firing logic, see this. This is my firing logic from the last video, if you remember. I'm just adding this check here that current active magazine needs to be more than 0. And then we have this start firing function, which is again checking that current active magazine needs to be greater than 0. Why? Because of that delay that we have while we are shooting. Since it's an integer, it can go beyond 0 and we don't want negative numbers, so it's a double check to prevent it. Rest of the code is same, the line trace and all. this is what I have added. We are just reducing the current active magazine by 1 at every instance. And then we are running a check on that enum inside that struct. And we are checking on magazine 1, 2, and 3. Again, if you add more magazines, you'll have to do it, for more of those magazines. Like since it's just three, these are three instances, then I'll have to do 4 or 5 if I add more magazines. And I'm just setting the current active magazine to magazine 1 since it's magazine 1. In magazine 2, I'm setting it to magazine 2. And in magazine 3, I'm setting it to magazine 3. That's it. So if I play it, okay, so this is, as you can see, the editor and basically the editor in play. So right now, let me just set it single fire. Yeah, single fire now. So if I press E, just carefully look on the left hand side, top left. It says Mag 3 30, Mag 2 20, and Mag 2 also 30, Mag 1 also 30, and active magazine is 1, and current ammo is 30. So it is absolutely correct. So what should happen if I, let's say, fire 3 bullets? 1, 3. So I have 27. So if I do it, as you can see, 30, 30, 27, right? And magazine 1 is active. So what should happen that when I'll reload, magazine 1 has less than 30, magazine 2 has more. So it will switch to magazine 2, and magazine 2 will be the active one. So we will be reducing the values from magazine 2. So if I press reload, and please don't mind the animation, it's broken, I know, but it is what I have. As you can see, active mag, it said active mag is 2. So if I press E, active magazine is 2, and we have mag 2 as 30, mag 1 as 27. So let's say if I fire one bullet and I press E again, so it has 30, 29, 27. So now it will go to Mag 3 because Mag 3 has 30. I press R, it reloads. Active magazine is magazine 3. And yes, as you can see. So now whatever I'll fire from magazine 3. Let me just try to shoot a lot of bullets. Let me just go to full auto. As you can see, a lot of bullets. I'll press E, and 12, Mag 3 has 12, Mag 2 has 29, Mag 1 has 27, and magazine is active. Now from this logic, it should go to Mag 2. So let's see, is it going to Mag 2? Yeah, current active magazine is Mag 2, and now we have currently 29 bullets. So if I fire, let's say, 2 bullets, now we have 27 and 27 in both. So because of that extra check that I made, it will reload and set it to magazine 1 because my priority was magazine 1. But now if I press R, nothing will happen. I'm pressing R and nothing is happening. Why? Because, well, 27 and 27 are equal, so you don't have to reload unless you fire, let's say, some bullets, and now you have 7 less than mag 2, and you can reload and set it to mag 2. And yeah, that's it. That's the insurgency logic. The only thing that I have is that it is switching from Mag 2 to Mag 1, which it should not, but then again, it's fine because I made the math, which is focusing on magazine 1. As you can see, all of the checks are first with respect to magazine 1, right? That's why these checks are with magazine 1. That's why. So yeah, that's it, guys. Don't worry. Right after that, I'll upload a tutorial. Maybe I'll upload it tomorrow, and I'll show you guys how I actually made it, the proper math breakdown. And yeah, that's it. Till then, I hope you guys are all fine, all good, and see you in the next one. Cheers.